guys, my name's Dan, and this reaction comes from Dead Meat. This is Children of the Corn 1984 kill count in yet another classic horror movie that I'm still yet to see before watching it here. And that's what I love about whenever he checks out these classic horror movies, is that I can actually finally see them for the first time. I actually finally have a reason to see it. I should have seen it a long time ago, but I guess better late than never. And I'm curious to see how James is going to dress, certainly. And I'm also curious to see what he thinks about it and all that went into making this movie. But before we get into it, though, please check all those links I have for you down in the description below. More specifically, Dead Meat's link if you haven't already. It's a great way to support the entire Dead Meat team. And a great and easy way to support me is to go right below this video and click all those buttons down there, because I'd like to see future reactions that I do, but also for my channel to grow. And without any further ado, let's go.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we
Hey,
tell
that
you
looks good. I love the hat.
horror movies and show you how they were made. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at the original Children of the Corn, released in 1984. We've got ourselves another Stephen King story here, a 1977 short story that was first published in Penthouse, and later included in the collection Night Shift. That book, which can be seen in this movie as an Easter egg, also featured Trucks, which King himself would later adapt in his only directorial effort, Maximum Overdrive. Stay tuned for that one as the final kill count of 2024.
Oh,
I promise
awesome!
you, it's a wild one. Children of the Corn follows a couple who winds up in a small Nebraska town controlled by youths. These little bastards make sacrifices and worship he who walks behind the rose. They're led by Isaac, who is just the sassiest little bitch.
Question not my judgment, Malachi.
Very sassy.
I'm the giver of his word.
Bless that little devil child. I think a lot of people consider this a classic, probably because of the opening scene. But honestly, it's pretty slow and boring. There are way more exciting King adaptations out there. The script is plotting, and the direction is mostly flat, sometimes just straight up bad. Like, what is this framing? Why all that headroom? They altered King's story by adding 2 kids as audience surrogates, which sucks. I don't want to listen to a kid narrate a movie, or watch scenes of them playing board games. Monopoly's boring in real life. Why would I want to watch some shitty little kids play?
That's a good point, and even in video game form as well.
The score does a lot of the work here, lending an eerie soundtrack to otherwise uninspired scenes. I guess it's fun to see Linda Hamilton literally months before The Terminator came out, but yeah, overall, this doesn't do too much for me. Children of the Corn is one of those franchises, fam. The kind with an endless march of sequels into the corn. As of now, there are 10 more movies after this, including a 2020s reboot. Although, to be fair, I don't know how serious some of these are. I mean, the 9th movie, Children of the Corn Runaway, doesn't even have a Wikipedia article.
Really?
Doesn't Dead Meat also not have a Wikipedia article?
Oh!
Yeah. 6.5 million subs? As you probably guessed,
seriously, like, whoever's out there, make it happen.
At the first movie right now, but I'd love to dive into this franchise sometime. I remember Part 3 Urban Harvest being fun. It has a teenage Charlize Theron in a small role. It's pretty cool. For now, let's see what happens when we get a bunch of...
Oh!
Jesus.
Whoa!
Who the
Whoa!
hell are you?
Whoa!
Oh.
Okay.
Sponsors. So, does that mean you're here with today's sponsor, Ridge?
Yes, we are. Spread out and every day.
Well,
All right.
that sounds fine. I mean, I've loved my Ridge for years. I spent a long time trying to make the classic old wallet work, but it was always clunky and making my pockets bulge. And sure, for a while I put up with it, you know, figured it was just what you had to do to hold everything. But now I'm able to fit all the cards and cash I need. Oh, and recently I started using their key case too, so my keys are nice and organized now as well.
That's a nice little addition.
Well, whether you're looking for your own Ridge or looking to gift some to a loved one, now's the perfect time. Because right now, they're offering up to 47% off some of your favorite items.
Pretty
when you
good
go
deal.
to Ridge.com/deadmeat. So, that revolutionary enough for you?
Ah!
Huh. Yeah, I guess so. Our company uses production codes for our videos, and this one's was Child Corn before editor Josh wisely suggested we change it. So
Yes!
Thank you, Josh.
Good job, Josh! Yes!
The movie begins with some singing of the corn. Nah, give me the kids' choir.
Oh! I'm here to hear some corn here.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's a simple theme that rules, just like this movie's opener, which takes place in Gatlin, Nebraska 3 years ago. Yep, that's what the screen says. We're told what happened in a voiceover by a little church boy named Joe.
He was pretty smart, my dad.
Not smart enough to realize this
Was.
diner's getting invaded by youths, especially this kid. That is just like central casting bad kid right now. At the behest of a hatted ghostly boy, the kids lock the diner door and poison the coffee.
Good coffee.
You wish, lady. The adult diner patrons start to hack and cough thanks to all that
Poison!
Then the evil little kids take out a hidden arsenal and attack
Think
the
that was
adults as
Chelsea?
Job and his milk mustache watches. We see a bunch of kills here.
Oh, no,
Some
was that a
from
reference to
poison,
something
others
else?
from being stabbed. Oh, holy shit, they stick this one guy's hand in a meat grinder. Like
Sure
Mickey
do.
Rourke and the wrestler. It's actually pretty fucked up the way these kids just did a whole fucking terrorist attack. I'm gonna go ahead and count all 18 adults we saw in this place, even
Fair.
though not all of them are shown being killed. And sorry, Job, but we've got one more kill for the count. Your mama, whom we hear getting
Oh!
I'm counting
Snap.
her because we saw her at home watching Job's little sister Sarah. The day of the great grown-up massacre was inspirational for Sarah's artistic career.
That's when Sarah started drawing these pictures.
The coloring sucks, sure, but the lines aren't too shabby. Good enough to throw some opening credits over them. I've said it a bunch. This opening sequence is great, and the rest of the movie is mostly a bore. I think it's because this was director Fritz Kirsch's first feature film. He was a TV commercial director who was hired when a close contact of his became an executive at New World Pictures. New World had bought the rights from Hal Roach Studios, which initially had different plans for the movie.
He had an idea to reinvent the Little Rascals through this. No one wanted that.
I think
Oh.
Kirsch's inexperience drags the
Huh,
movie
yeah, that
down,
definitely didn't
but
work out
I
that way.
truly love how proud he is of having made this film. In present day, a couple is headed to Seattle so Bert can start work as a physician. Sure seems like Bert and Vicky have got the life, with Linda
Mm-hmm.
Hamilton waking him up with a little singing number. It goes on a little long, but you know what? She commits to it. It's fine. She's more committed than Bert.
Nah, I was okay with it. I thought it was very wholesome to start off.
Anyway, there's tension between them since he hasn't proposed to her yet. On their way to Washington State, they cross into Cornland. No, Jonathan, stop!
No!
You
Damn it!
Nicest little town in Nebraska. Isaac rules over it after having had all the adults murdered. One kid, Joseph, doesn't like it and decides to escape with the help of Job and Sarah. But they're too little to take along with him, so he leaves them behind. Sucks to suck, suckers! Joseph cuts through the cornfields, which is a real dumb idea. There are spiders in there and chanting on the soundtrack that might be saying, mongoose? And broccoli cubbies? Weird prayer.
I love that.
Corn there, who kills Joseph and sprays his very red blood all over his suitcase.
Damn.
Well,
Yeah, this movie ain't holding anything back if they're killing kids.
hey, now he'll be able to tell it apart at baggage claim. Bert and Vicky, let's call him Vicky for short, are looking at a map when, holy shit, they hit a kid in the road!
Ah!
Bert finds Joseph's dead body, not realizing at first that it was already dead and placed there before he hit him. And that's
I
the
did.
kind of Three's Company misunderstanding that'll, leave you with some trauma. Bert quickly realizes this kid came pre-killed when he sees his slit throat and bloody suitcase in the cornfield. See? It stands out. While he checks on that, Vicky checks on the body.
I'm so sorry.
Haha, never mind, it was just a dream. Director Kirsch told Linda Hamilton they had a mannequin under the blanket. She didn't know it was a real kid until he jumped out at her.
To me, that's the best scare in the movie.
They put the boy's
That's a
body
pretty
in the
damn
boot
good
to
one.
take off towards town, opening his luggage for clues. Oh look, a corn cross.
Jesus Christ.
Not my book.
Aw, you're not down with Jesus Christ? Job and Sarah
Nope,
are in their old
apparently
house
not.
doing all sorts of things that Isaac forbids, like listening to music, playing games, and dressing up like they're putting on a production of On Golden Pond. Their characters were created by screenwriter George Goldsmith to help introduce the audience to the story. Goldsmith replaced Stephen King, who had written a draft of the movie that wasn't very cinematic. Apparently, the first 35 minutes were just a couple arguing. Yeah, sounds like a Stephen King novel. The author
Sure.
wasn't a fan of Goldsmith's revisions.
He and I had a phone call where he said, you don't understand the horror genre. And I said,
Oh.
no disrespect, Mr. King, but I'm not sure you understand cinema.
Angry
Oh,
Jacob
damn!
Malachi interrupts the fun times and tells them game over with a knife. He shoves them into Isaac's office and gives a stupid little bow before handing over Sarah's prophetic drawing of Bert and Vicky's car. He confirms her vision is true since he saw the car after slitting Joseph's throat in the field. Vicky gets to a gas station with ye old horror movie harbinger.
What about Gatlin?
Gatlin? There ain't nothing in Gatlin.
This guy Deal tells them to keep going to Hemingford and sends them on their way. But that's not good enough for the children. Or
Nope.
weather? It seems like the weather's getting pissed. Deal starts to hear kiddos and swears he's been field.
I never told him nothing. I swear it. I kept our bargain, just like always.
But then he finds the bloody handkerchief of his dog Sarge, who had run off early. Farmer Green moment, and rip this corn out with his bare hands. He ends up in the barn where he has a showdown with the killer kids, mostly consisting of close-ups. It ends with him running off screen and onto the kill count. The only shot we get of his body is but a bloody arm. At least it was a strong arm. Deal was played by R.G. Armstrong, who was also in Predator as the guy who recruited Schwarzenegger.
Oh, nice!
Isaac gives a sermon to all the shitty little kids about their good God.
In the dream, the Lord did come to me, and he was a shape. It was he who walks behind the rose.
These blind kids all follow.
Yeah, so when watching this, I can't be the only one who's getting Joffrey vibes from Game of Thrones. Anybody else see that? Anybody? I'm starting to think maybe the kid who played Joffrey maybe got some inspiration from this kid. I could be wrong, but they feel the same to me.
Follow the leader in their love for quirky Vegas acts.
The Blue Man! Yes, the Blue Man!
Oh, they must only like one of the men's solo careers. This blue man is a cop they've killed and crucified. But, I mean, look at it. That is textbook bastard Skelly right there. I don't care how much you dress him up with clothes like a person, he ain't going on the count. Although, turns out he almost did qualify, since the scene was filmed with the character being killed in a police station. But it was ultimately cut for time, so fuck him. Isaac tells them what's the word. Word up is that
Damn,
they cast out
savage.
the betrayer. Then he uses Malachi's intel and Sarah's drawing to prophesize that 2 outsiders will be showing up soon. Sounds like a great gift for their lord.
Make sacrifice unto him. Bring him the blood of the Outlander. Praise God! Praise the Lord! Praise God! Praise the Lord!
While Stephen King's script was a political allegory having to do with the Vietnam War, screenwriter Goldsmith had a different inspiration.
Children of the Corn was really based on the revolution in Iran and the taking of the Americans as hostages.
He compared Isaac to the Ayatollah Khomeini, Malachi to the Revolutionary Guard, Bert and Vicky to the American hostages, and even the gas station owner to American oil companies. It all makes sense, but of course the movie also works as an exploration of any kind of blind faith, regardless of sex. Since the road signs have been fucked with and the cornfield makes for a shitty highway, Vicky ends up going to Gatlin, which is a complete ghost town. I've been through tiny towns on road trips before, but none quite as dead as this. Or as murdering. Hey, I see you two back there! Yeah, go home to your parents! Oh, wait.
No, they can't.
The couple still gives it the old college try, hoping to find a phone, but instead find fucking just lots of corn everywhere.
What is it with this corn?
I mean, where do you want to start? Government subsidies? They start to leave empty-handed until they notice movement in a house on the edge of town. Wait, Bert, you can't just walk into someone else's house.
Yeah, seriously, dude!
Chainsaw Massacre? Malachi's probably waiting behind a sliding door with a sledgehammer. Just kidding. I don't think that kid could swing a sledgehammer. They find a bunch of drawings and the little girl who drew them, Sarah, listening to a record in her room. She tells them all the adults are gone and that Isaac is their leader. Yeah, maybe just turn around and leave, Vicky.
Yeah,
instead, this
maybe.
idiot tells Vicky to stay with Sarah while he walks back to town by himself.
Big
Great
mistake.
idea, dude. He scopes out Gatlin, where they teach corn, worship corn, and, trying to mail corn? He checks out City Hall, but, I don't think he wants to meet their mayor. It looks scary. The house that Vicky's in gets surrounded by armed corn kids.
Who could have seen that coming?
Pry their way inside. Bunch of little corn ninjas. She finds them waiting for her downstairs, and then they chase her into a room and do a mini Shining shot. Her lamp attack has less AoE than she hoped for, so they seize her and carry her away. Sarah shields her ears from more chanting on the soundtrack. After shooting had wrapped, director Kearse brought on composer Jonathan Elias, who had worked with him on commercials. It was Elias's first feature film score, and he did great.
Given what the time frame, what the budget,
phenomenal.
What it was, I'm pretty proud of that score.
As he should be. The budget was so low, he didn't even record the kids' choir parts in his studio. He had to bring them to his house.
Back then, I think I did all the kids in my bedroom.
Oh,
no!
Phrasing,
dude, damn!
Put a little corn crown on her. But there was tension within kid leadership. Isaac doesn't like that Malachi killed the Harbinger.
And did you not spill the blood of the old man when his oil and gasoline were still useful to us?
We have our own fuel now from the corn.
Oh, shit. Y'all going ethanol? Bert gets back and kicks his way into the house, where he yells at a tiny little girl until she says his lady was taken away. The corn stalks appear to open for him as he heads into the field to get his corn girl back. They're making her corn on the cross, though, just like their old pal Blue Boy. Or Blue Man. Yeah, like Blue Man.
Yep, Blue Man.
Those kids do love those guys.
Blow, 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 blow.
Bert pops out of the corn at the church, where where they have my single favorite shot in the movie. We love the Sabs! Oh wait, someone's filling up a corn cup with chest blood? Never mind, these shots are pretty cool too.
Yes.
Bert walks in on it and tells them to stop, prompting the ire of
Stop!
young kid
You
Lieutenant
stop it right now!
Hold the Outlander!
I love that he's like, what the fuck?
Get the hell off me!
He just walked in on a birthday party. Amos here is turning 19, graduating out of the child part of the Children of the Corn. Can't be having young adults of the Corn, except maybe for a reboot on CW. It's tradition for these kids to be sacrificed when they reach 19, just like it's tradition to stab adults in the chest. Oh damn! Bert ain't about to let a kitty-sized stabbing stop him though. He pulls that shit out and waves it at the youths, then just runs the hell away. They chase him, but that stab ain't doing shit to slow him down. Thankfully, he trips over nothing.
Yeah, absolutely nothing.
And between that, their enthusiasm, and sheer overwhelming numbers, they're able to surround him at an intersection in another cool shot. Wait, but then they lose him again? God,
yup.
these are so fucking stupid.
Very elusive.
I mean, except for any who watch our videos.
Cool.
Man, this whole movie
yeah,
is
way to
slow,
save
but
yourself there.
This is when you start to realize that nothing really happens in it. Like, Bert is able to deter Malachi again, but then runs face first into a pillar? What
He's so freaking
He finds
clumsy!
Job, who hides him away in his cellar where he and Sarah live.
Isn't this neat? My dad built it. It's when the communists launched the first strike.
I don't think it's the communists we have to worry about, Job.
Unless you hate music, the communists have the music. Gatlin was played by 4 different towns outside of Des Moines in southwest Iowa. They included Hornick, Whiting, Salix, and Sioux City, which was also where the cast and crew stayed at Howard Johnson's. They got to know the communities they shot in and cast local theater kids. The townspeople were excited for a movie to shoot there and gave them a lot of friendly support.
No problem. And we'll make a cake for you. And afterward, could you come to barbecue? And then we're having casino night.
They were so kind.
That's a
and
blast.
wonderful. And there was one town that just said, "Oh, here, have the town. We'll leave."
Production didn't have to build anything, often only needing to dress abandoned buildings that were already slated for demolition. The only problem they had was with the corn. Kirsch wanted his characters marooned in a sea of corn, but they found a lot of the cornfields in the area empty. Part of the problem was that there was too much corn in the country, driving prices down, so the government was paying farmers not to grow it.
There were so many farmers were calling us up. They wanted us to burn their corn because the prices of corn were so bad. They figured they'd make more money, renting it out to a movie company.
And the corn that was there was at the end of its season and turning brown by time production began. You can actually see that in some of the super wide shots. For closer shots, they'd go in and literally spray paint it green.
Our art department was out with green paint, spraying
Yikes.
fields of corn and try to make them look green.
Back in the cornfields, Isaac feels his flock falling away from him.
Not blaspheme, Malachi. You know not the laws. He speaks them only to me.
Was that a corn reference? Falling away from him? Falling away from me? Maybe? I don't know.
I think not, Isaac. You are the one who's lost favor with them.
The argument erupts into full-on mutiny, with Malachi beating him down into the ground. The little man throws one
That was a corn reference right there!
more tantrum trying to retain control.
I am the word and the giver of his laws. Disobedience to me is disobedience to him. Do it now, or your punishment shall be 1,000 times 1,000 deaths, each more horrible than the last.
But Isaac's a yapper, and Malachi's a doer. And he's got that 40-year-old looking kid backing him. So the others all switch sides. Damn, not even a
Damn,
schism.
yeah, that was a super quick way to turn
Or
on him.
nothing. I guess they all want a savior. Say fuck that. Or suck that. Essentially.
Oh!
Isaac and Malachi are 2 of the best parts.
So many corn references, I love it.
Parts of this movie. Even Stephen King, who did not like the film, complimented their performances.
And you just said, that Courtney and I did a great job and that we would probably go on to do better stuff.
Actor John Franklin was quickly cast since he was a 23-year-old man who could convincingly play a child.
I have growth hormone deficiency, so that's why I'm really short and 5 foot and look young as a result.
He even came pre-styled. He had just done a commercial for a Star Trek Atari game, and his hair had been cut to look like a Vulcan. He'd returned to the series in Children of the Corn 666, Isaac's Return, which he co-wrote. He was also, at one point, supposed to be the voice for Chucky before Brad Dourif redubbed the role. Child's Play's director Tom Holland still had him voice the scary-ass giant Chucky in the commercial.
Good guys say 3 different sentences.
Oh!
Leave and turn our
Look at
heads
that.
and blink our eyes when you talk to us.
We've seen Franklin on the kill count in Tammy and the T-Rex, and his other credits include Cousin It in The Addams Family and its sequel. Meanwhile, Courtney Gaines was 19, an actual teenager who got into character by psyching himself up as they walked through the cornfields to set. His intensity goes back to his audition. where he pulled out a prop knife and grabbed one of the casting directors.
He pretty much, quite frankly,
Damn.
shit his pants.
Gaines has consistently
I can see
worked
that.
his entire life, including in Rob Zombie's Halloween, but only the director's cut, since he's one of those gross prison guards whose rape scene led to Michael's escape. The kids tie Isaac to a cross as he screams in futile rage. He'll be sacrificed to He Who Walks Behind the Rows alongside Amos, who's here reporting for duty. Amos is played by John Philbin, whom we just saw as one of the punks in Return of the Living Dead. The good kids and Bert run through town at maximum little kid speed, which is, you know,
Maximum
until they get to
little
a barn
kids.
that lets them see far off into the field. That corn party looks pretty fun to the old Burtmeister, so he sets off to join them as the sun goes down. By the time it's dark, the kids are ready to greet He Who Walks Behind the Rows.
He's come to welcome me.
Now, if you thought these corn kids were full of corny shit, you've got another thing coming. Their corn god is real, and possibly a graboid. Either way, we
Yeah.
meet Amos.
Well, what is this? Another Critters movie that we didn't know about?
Killed by him off screen. The
Where's
dirt shifting
Orin?
effect was done with an upside-down wheelbarrow on a wooden track in a ditch. They had a canvas over it covered with loose soil and vermiculite, and pulled the wheelbarrow with a cable on a tractor.
So for about $100, we made this monster.
Isaac continues to scream as He Who Walks Behind the Rows appears as... Man, I don't even know what this static
Ah,
is.
that's some weird CGI.
Color on it? Yeah,
I
it
guess.
seems like they couldn't come up with anything good. Except this effect as Isaac dies.
So weird. Does not look good.
They just launched a corn cross straight up into the
Bottle
air.
rocket
Bert
Wii.
busts in and hits a kid with a pipe to rescue Vicky. She runs off as they surround him, but he defends himself with that pipe and some Sunday school.
Any religion without love and compassion is false.
Malachi tackles him from behind, but the grown-ass man obviously gets the better of the teenager.
Obviously.
Just backhanding him over and over.
Smack,
but when
smack,
the time comes,
smack,
he
smack.
refuses to kill Malachi, which gives these bloodthirsty kids some pause. Pause enough for someone else to join them.
Isaac's back, motherfucker!
He wants you too, Malachi.
And I thought that kid was creepy before. The pet cemeteried Isaac grabs Malachi and kills him by breaking his neck. Yep, that's it. The neck snap. Malachi's death was supposed to be more elaborate, but they changed it to a neck snap to save time. In fact, a lot of the final act's effects got cut for time. It was a big disappointment
That's a
to Linda
shame.
Hamilton, who has called Children of the Corn her worst film. The rest of the flock scatters and takes cover as the weather picks up. Judging by the air pressure, I think they've got an angry god on their hands. Job tells Bert that before he became a skelly, that cop tried to stop the kids and their god by burning the field. Bert figures that's a bright idea, so he decides to try it himself. He heads out with an irrigation.
Finally, a good
but
idea.
Stalks and leaves in this place aren't gonna let him off so easily. Good thing they're just plants, so he cuts his way out of them with a blade that might be small enough for Boy Scout regulations. He hooks the hose up to what it needs to be hooked up to. I don't know farm stuff. And then follows Job's
Same.
instructions and cranks that bitch up. Better hurry, dude. The crappy looking He Who Walks Behind the Rows is almost here. And it is, yep, real weird looking. This effect was done by injecting ink in liquid. I guess it looks okay. Way better than these slowly bending corn stalks, which are just not scary. Bert tosses a gas bomb, but not far enough. So Job retrieves it and runs it back like a little Olympic torch runner. Kid's like, try not to fuck up this time.
Yeah,
okay?
seriously.
He doesn't on his second throw, successfully landing an explosion on the evil god and lighting it on fire. Or at least lighting his cornfield on fire. That thing is a motherfucking inferno
Yeah,
right now.
seriously,
Oh, wait,
dude.
No, yeah, I think their god is literally blowing up. Yeah, is that his face in the mushroom cloud?
Maybe.
Must look like the Grinch's face. Oh man, maybe don't try to make this movie in 1984. Those explosions were
Perhaps.
done with big bags filled with gasoline buried 6 to 8 feet underground. They exploded upward, mostly as planned, but the cameras caught it at the wrong angle, possibly due to brandy consumption, so they added some effects on top of it later. Vicky and the kids escape, but find that their car's been completely corn. The next town is 19 miles away, but they decide they can make it on foot. And great, now I guess they're adopting these kids. I'm sure that won't cause issues later that you're not considering right now. Before
Nope.
they can make off all in the family, that Rachel kid reappears, a true believer. I alone am best. She tries to kill Bert one last time, but he just knocks her out with the car door and they leave. Seriously, that's the end of the movie. Hey, at least they're leaving her in there with the windows down, you know? Wouldn't want her to overheat or nothing. How many
Sure.
people became corn fertilizer thanks to some evil kids? Let's find out and... Oh my god, no. Oh,
Ah!
it's
Oh,
he who
no!
comes behind the
The
rows.
word pixelation!
Ah. Ah. I
Oh, he's
counted
fine.
24 kills in Children of the Corn, the vast majority of them in that opening scene. There were 9 female victims and 15 male victims, giving us this corn pie chart. Wait, is corn pie a thing?
I don't know.
Eat it. We've seen this count and breakdown once before in The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals. Don't believe me? Go watch that episode. Maybe a few times. And with a runtime of 92 minutes, Children of the Corn had a kill on average every 3.83 minutes. I'll give the Golden Chainsaw for coolest kill to all the victims in the opening scene collectively. This opening is a great little horror short. It's legit creepy. Dull Machete for lamest kill will go to Amos, sacrificed entirely off screen with nothing but sound effects. And that's it. Children of the Corn came out in 1984, but the sequels didn't start until the 90s. You know, that's always a good sign. Until next time, I'm Denise.
Oh no!
This has been the Kill Count.
On the next Kill Count.
Help wanted. Video services for 1 day.
Discretion is appreciated. Whatever that means.
Location, a creepy mountain cabin. The client, the nicest guy you could ever meet.
Oh, I know that guy.
Even if he's a little jump scary sometimes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Guy was on the
Creep has
League.
become a cult classic
show.
in its own way. A horror fan found footage favorite.
Would you mind telling me about it?
I'd love to. It follows Aaron, a videographer who gets hired off of Craigslist by Joseph, a dying man looking to record some final words. Like that Michael Keaton movie.
My Life?
Well, I was talking about Beetlejuice, but okay.
It's a beautiful, beautiful film.
Problem is, Joseph is eccentric, to say the least.
That's what it feels like when you feel like you're gonna die.
And as the day goes on, he only proves to be more of a creep.
Oh no.
I might look like I eat you up.
Please stop doing whatever that is.
I don't know what that is.
Sorry.
With just 2 dudes and a camera, you might not think Creep has a lot going on.
There's nothing we can do.
But it's a great, tense, low-budget thriller anchored by Mark Duplass's unsettling performance.
It's incredible, isn't it?
So this week, grab a fuzzy friend and watch Creep.
Why wait?
Then on Friday, creep on to the Kill Count. Only on Dead Meat.
This is gonna be a good day.
Creep can currently be watched.
Alright, well that looks interesting. As far as interesting goes for this, it is a classic, sure. But like him, I was bored throughout a lot of the movie. I thought the main adult character was a bit dumb at times. Chasing after kids who were just trying to steal your car, which kind of felt like a weird thing to do. It's like, okay, they tried to steal it, they got away, just drive away. Just drive, just go. But he was just too curious for his own good and had to find out more and more and more. And outside of like the opening sequence, and the explosion, I really like the explosion parts, and you know, seeing Linda Hamilton and seeing her in her element was pretty cool as well. Not really too much to speak about here. It wasn't really a bad one. It was just a little boring at times. It certainly felt a lot longer than it was. It's not because it was on Tubi and, you know, it has commercials on there, but it certainly did feel a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, and it did take away a little bit from my enjoyments. I don't want to say it's the worst classic horror movie that I've seen, because there's certainly ones that are far worse than this one, but I was really hoping for so much more here. But that's going to do it for me. Comment down below. Let me know, what did you think about Children of the Corn? Please leave a like if you enjoyed it. Check all those links I have for you down in the description below. Then lastly, and most importantly, I'm going to give a huge shout out to all my $5 and up supporters on Patreon: Luchador, Cruising, Wolverine 310, Kester Cronus, Joseph McSweeney, Joshy, Chris Curtis, Am Perry, Voss Coffany, Misa, Misa2, Lily the Snoopy Fan, Jenny the Swifty, Allison the Aesthetic Girl, Fleet Street Viscount, Emily the Flower Lover, Sophie the Sunset Girl, Summer the Dog Lover, Misa3, Arrow Hamster, Inca Linquist, Aubrey the Charlie Brown Lover, Thomas Shawanowit, Carter Resnick, MB Cardall, and Chris. And if you two like to have a shout out, and then each and every one of my videos, please head over to patreon.com/EdenReactor for more. And I'll see you guys next time.